Good morning, everyone. Welcome. The first song that we're going to sing today, it's not lost on us that it's a bit unconventional for this kind of service, but it was Al's favorite and mostly requested when Harry and I were over with the guitar, so enjoy.
She don't like her eggs all runny. She thinks crossing her legs is funny. She looks down her nose at money, gets it on like the Easter bunny. She's my lady, I'm her honey, never gonna let her go.
He ain't got laid in a month of Sundays. Caught him once and he was sniffing my undies. He ain't too smart, but he gets things done. Drinks his beer like it's oxygen. He's my baby, I'm his honey, never gonna let him go. In spite of ourselves, we'll end up sitting on a rainbow. Against all odds, honey, we're the big door prize. We're gonna spite our noses right off of our faces. There won't be nothing but a big old hearts dancing in our eyes.
She thinks all my jokes are corny. Convict movies make her horny. She likes ketchup on her scrambled eggs. Swears like a sailor when she shaves her legs. Takes a licking, keeps on ticking, never gonna let her go.
He's got 4 balls and a big brass monkey. He's a whacked out weirdo and a love bug junkie. Sly as a fox, crazy as a loon. Payday comes and he's a howling at the moon. But he's my baby, I don't mean maybe, never gonna let him go. In spite of ourselves, we'll end up sitting on a rainbow. Against all odds, honey, we're the big door prize. We're gonna spite our noses right off of our faces. There won't be nothing but a big old hearts dancing in our eyes. In spite of ourselves, we'll end up sitting on a rainbow. Against all odds, honey, we're the big door prize. We're gonna spite our noses right off of our faces. There won't be nothing but a big old hearts dancing in our eyes. There won't be nothing but a big old hearts dancing in our eyes. There won't be nothing but a big old hearts dancing in our eyes.
Harry and Abby, I have to admit I didn't quite see that coming. Not quite sure where to go from there, but carry on we will. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming. My name is Jeff Groenwald. I'm a friend of the family and former executive pastor here at Lakeside Church right in Guelph. 7 years ago, we were here in this room. I was here with you as well on the passing of your mom and friend, Cindy Everett. And it's a privilege to join with you once again today. It's said that everyone grieves in their own way and there's no prescription for how you're supposed to do that. So wherever you're at today, it's all good. It's okay. Grief is a journey and today is another step on that journey, supporting one another and processing the loss that you feel and that we all feel. We've already heard from Harry and Abby today. We'll hear from them 2 more times. We'll also listen. I'm not sure where we go with those. Maybe we should just say 1 more time. No, it'll be 2 more times. We'll hear from them a couple of more times. We're also going to hear a couple of readings done by Linda Kennedy and Seth Meyers, reflections from Al's daughter Sarah and son Blair. I'll share a short message with you as well. So let's all take a deep breath in and let me lead you in a prayer to begin today. Gracious God, our hearts are heavy on this difficult day. We've heard it said that your ways are higher than our ways, but somehow it still doesn't seem to address our very real pain and loss on the loss of someone so important to us. We ask for comfort and guidance on this day. Amen. Each of the elements in today's ceremony will proceed one after the other, so let's begin with our 2 readings, starting with Linda Kennedy.
Good morning, everyone. Someone we so dearly loved, so popular with their friends. We should not cry forever, for this is not the end. His memory lives amongst us, times we both laughed and cried. I cannot bear to lose him, but one day we all must die. I hear his voice within me, and his funny, contagious laugh. So many things remind me of times that now gone past. He was the apple of every eye. And to Sarah and Blair, I want to thank you for sharing your dad with me. Thank you.
It broke our hearts to lose you, but you never went alone, for part of us went with you the day that you went home. 1,000,000 times we miss you, 1,000,000 times we cry. If love could have saved you, you never would have died. To the grave you travel, our flowers placed with care. No one knows the heartache as we turn to leave you there. If tears could build a stairway and memories could make a lane, we would walk right up to heaven and bring you home again. We love you, Al. Sleep well in heaven with Cindy.
This one was a favorite of Cindy and Al. It's not as quirky as the last one, I promise. Well, I hope that I don't fall in love with you. Falling in love just makes me blue. Well, the music plays and you display your heart for me to see. I had a beer and now I hear you calling out to me. And I hope that there's crowded people everywhere. And I wonder, should I offer you a chair? Well, if you sit down with this old clown, I'll take that frown and break it. Before the evening's gone away, I think that we can make it. And I hope that I don't fall in love with you. Well, the night does funny things inside a man. These old tomcat feelings you don't understand. Well, I turn around and look at you, light a cigarette. I wish I had the guts to bum one, but we've never met. And I hope that I don't fall in love with you. I see that you are lonesome just like me. And it being late, you like some company. Well, I turn around and look at you, looking back at me. The guy you're with, he's up and split. The chair next to you's free. And I hope that you don't fall in love with me. Now it's closing time. The music's fading out. Last call for drinks, I'll have another stout. I turn around to look for you, you know where to be found. I search the place for your lost face. Guess I'll have another round. And I think that I just fell in love with you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Blair, and on behalf of my sister and I, we want to thank you for being here to celebrate our dad today. He was many things to a lot of people. He was a mentor, friend, role model, a listening ear, advice giver, brother, brother-in-law, father-in-law, bonus grandpa, husband, partner, and to Sarah and I, he was the best dad we could ever ask for. We couldn't go anywhere without Dad knowing someone. He should have been mayor. I thought maybe we should be holding this at the Sleeman Center. And if he didn't know someone, he would just strike up a conversation and a new friendship was born. Takes me to a story. Mom and Dad, Uncle Scott and Aunt Julie were in Buffalo for Black Friday shopping. The girls, they were shopping. The boys posted up at the bar and drank beer. Dad and Scott got into a conversation with some random guy who was there for the same reason. Next thing you know, Dad and Scott are getting invited to dinner. Mom and Julie said, hell no. And then next thing you know, Mom and Dad are going to visit them in San Francisco. My friends always say to me they hate going places with me because I know everyone. But I take that as a compliment because my dad was the same way. In 1978, shortly after Sarah was born, Dad bought Guelph Rental and City Motor Service. Always loved the story of Dad's first day. Customer came in looking for a gas plate tamper. Dad all proud, yep, we got that. You know, new owner, does up the paperwork, looks around, looks back at the customer. Now, do you see it anywhere? Didn't even know what the hell it was. But he did good. I take great pride in following my dad's footsteps and working in the same field as Dad. He casts a big shadow, but that's a shadow I don't mind being stuck in. I love when people come into the shop, share stories about Dad, or tell me how great he was, or that I remind them of Al. Rarely did Sarah and I ever get to see Dad angry. He didn't even get upset when the principal would call home. He just said to her, from 8 to 3, he's your problem. Figure it out. And now I'm marrying one. He did get mad with me when he showed up downtown to pick me up and I didn't have a coat on. I told him I didn't want to pay for coat check, thinking Dad'd like to save a buck. He would understand. Boy, was I wrong. He laid into me from downtown till just about the bottom, right around here, to near the bottom of Victoria Road Hill. And then he looked over at me and he says, love you. I still want you to call me if you need a ride home, but you still need to wear a coat. I started wearing a coat. After Mom passed, I moved in with Dad, and I know it was great for both of us. He was the best roommate. Not just because he always had dinner for me when I got home from work. That was just an added bonus. Friday was our front porch happy hour, or sometimes happy 4 hours, depending on who showed up. Dad and I usually having a couple Manhattans. Sometimes we had to remind each other that it's just a sipping drink. It makes me sad that Amanda and Seth never had the chance to meet my mom. But now I'm so very grateful that they were able to spend 3 great years with Dad, and he showed them all his love. I'm sad they both won't be there on our wedding day, but I know they'll be there in spirit, and I will be wearing Dad's wedding band. So, Dad, I'll miss our golf games at the club and in Florida, and getting golf tips from you, even though we both suck. Listening to you tell a joke, then repeating it as you laugh. Saturday morning coffee, happy hours, you coming out to visit me at work, and all the other things in between. I will always carry with me 2 great pieces of advice you seem to always share with me, mostly on the weekends. Number 1, good decisions. And number 2, nothing good ever happens after midnight. Give Mom a hug and kiss for me, and enjoy the view with a perfect Manhattan in hand. And remember, it's a sipping drink. I love you, and I'll miss you.
So Blair's the funny one. I'm Sarah, Al's firstborn and only daughter, and somehow I still never get to make his password. It feels like we were just up here talking about my mom, so someone upstairs thinks we're strong AF, and we're going to try to prove them right. You're all here today because our dad touched your life in some way, and I can honestly say there are very few of you here that didn't know him personally, didn't share a laugh, a beer or a rum, a golf game, rented something off him, or had an amazing chat with him where he would drop some of his wisdom unbeknownst to you. I can guarantee you left his presence with a smile on your face. His smile was contagious, and being in his company a joy. Al was born in New Brunswick, and he was pretty proud to be an East Coaster. My Aunt Alicia recently told me when they were little kids, my grandparents would send my dad to New Brunswick in the early summer, where he was such a welcome addition down there. His uncles loved him so much and called him Bambi because he was so small and so very cute. And like she said, that didn't change much in adulthood. I asked if she went as often as him, and she said no, which leads me to believe Al was a bit of a menace, and my grandma and grandpa welcomed the break. He would go back as often as he could. He took our family. He went with my grandpa when he was getting sick, and most recently with his sister Alicia. He always came back happy to see the family on the farm, and he'll be greatly missed by his New Brunswick aunts, uncles, and many cousins. My mom and dad just crushed life. They were role models to my friends and family and everyone they met. They welcomed everyone to their home here at Club Everett North and South in Florida. He loved when people were around. It could be where we get it from. Him and Mom would not leave a party when my friends were around, even when I was like, go to bed. He loved every single friend group I brought in. My high school friends always had an open invitation. And then after I went to Australia, he was the first one to offer up his house for Aussie reunions. And after Korea, the parties became huge because everyone I met along the way just got along. Some say it was me that brought them together, but I think they just loved my mom and dad so much. And I was just a bonus, and they were stuck with me. In Florida, for our wedding, my friend Scotty was going around introducing himself to people as Al's friend Scotty. And we laughed. But it was true. Oh, God. As many of you know, they're invited to everyone's wedding, probably over half the people in here. I always thought it was wild. How was I the only one with parents at a wedding? But now I understand. My dad just gave off a vibe that was hard to describe. People wanted to be around him. Al used to love when I left him notes when I got home from the bar growing up about who was sleeping over or coming back for morning brekkie. Could it be Abby, Churchy, Todd, Fagel? It didn't matter. When we got up, the Texas toast, a whole loaf for church, was in the toaster, homemade strawberry jam on the table, and eggs and bacon on the barbecue. He was never mad when he woke up to any visitors he didn't know about the night before. He loved it. Another story I have to tell, because it was my dad's favorite, much to Todd's chagrin, was when Todd was over for dinner, and my dad always cooked steaks and put the biggest steak on the bottom. So when he passed it around, he got the big steak. And Dad loves to tell the story that Toddy went digging through those steaks to find the biggest one. We've heard it a million times, and we'll miss that story. I'm sure he just told it last month. Sorry, Todd. When you were about to leave his house, whether you popped in for a quick visit or stayed for hours, you probably heard him say, "Don't go," which really meant, it's time to go. After my mom got sick, my dad stepped up and became our rock. He lost his wife, but he got stronger for us and him and everyone in our family. He became a yes man. He always said he was going to say yes to things, even if he didn't want to because life was short. And I love that quality in him, and I'll aspire to say yes more, although you'd be hard-pressed for me to say no, so thanks, Dad. My dad was the best little brother to his sister Alicia. They shared rides home from Florida and happy hours, great conversations, and everything in between. He also became a brother to my uncles. He loved them with his whole heart, and they him, even when he ate so slow they had to wait for dessert. He wouldn't miss a Western football game if he could help it, or go to Doe Lake, or make time for coffee, golf, and trips to Halliburton and London to see them. He made every single one of his nieces and nephews feel special. I've often heard him called the favorite uncle. Hope I didn't let that out of the bag. We are so happy my dad found companionship and love again after our mom with Linda. He had 5+ years of love, friendship, travel, and so much more. He thoroughly enjoyed being with Jen and Brent, Megan and Matt, and JD and Martin, and he had a few more bonus grandkids to the mix. He adored Finn, Seth, Colton, Rosie, Cohen, and Charlie. He treated them like they were his very own, and I know each and every one of them adored him and share so many memories of Pal, Papa Al, or just Al the annoying one, as said by Finn. In Florida, he got to throw the last ultimate party, and Rory and I will be forever grateful for that. There were so many people he knew and loved there, and he was so proud to tell his friends that he knew every single person there by name, all 100 of them. And I know not many people can say that. It's a true testament to him. His smile never left his face, and he got to see so many people he might not otherwise have seen. It's a gift. On the Friday after the wedding, he opened his pool to 50 of mine and his closest friends, and he couldn't stop taking pictures and then showing everyone the pictures when he got home. Look how packed my pool was. It's never been this packed. He loved it, and everyone there loved it, even if they couldn't pinpoint why that day felt so special, and even if he was a little stressed beforehand. It truly goes to show you the kind of man he was. It was so important to my dad to make an effort to love who I loved, who Blair loved, who my mom loved, who Linda loved, who his friends loved, who his sister and brother-in-laws loved, and the list goes on. My now husband Rory says he hit the jackpot in the father-in-law department, but more importantly in the friend department. Al became one of Rory's best pals, and what more could a girl want? I think everyone here is better off knowing Al, even if you saw him a few times at Tim Hortons on a Saturday when you're having his coffee with Bud, or you got to wake up to a morning text like me, or enjoy Florida times with him, or traveling, or just hear him ask any questions, or reminding Rory, if you're looking, you ain't cooking. Before I close, I just want to thank Abby and Harry. I know they loved Al like a father, so I know this can't be easy. But it was as happy as watching you two perform. So I'm sure he's pretty happy right now, so thanks, guys. I could go on forever and ever about stories about my dad, and I'm sure you could too. And I'm not stopping because I think I'll bore you, but I want us to share those stories in person. All of you here have your own special and unique memories of Dad. Don't stop talking about him, thinking about him, laughing at all the things he did. I never want to stop talking about him, so please don't either. Blair and I have another guardian angel. It doesn't seem fair or right, but we promise to make them both proud and feel lucky they have each other and everyone that passed before them. He wouldn't want us to cry. He loved laughter and love and a good time. After my mom, I saw how strong he could be, and we'll do our best to be strong for him. I love you, Dad. I won't stop talking about you, and I'll be waiting for all those signs. I hope you're enjoying the view. We'll miss you every day, but know you aren't far. Some last words of wisdom from Al. Say yes more, laugh more, smile at strangers, give people your undivided attention, unless Fred Pelly calls. Remember, it's always nice to be asked, and never let the facts get in the way of a story. I can assure you all these facts are true, except maybe the Todd and steak story. I love you, Dad. Rest easy. I know you're in good hands up there. We're gonna be okay, because we're in good hands down here. Hope you're wasting away in Margaritaville with Mom and all your pals. Have one for us. Love you. Thank you.
On Monday, April 15th, 2024, Allan Gordon Everett passed away at his home right here in Guelph. He was 71 years old. He slipped the bonds of his earthly existence, shed his physical body, and entered eternity. And even though every one of us knows we will all pass away one day, it's still shocking, it's unexpected, and it's emotion-filled every time it happens. Al was a father to Sarah and Blair, a brother to Alicia Wright, a husband to his late wife, Cindy Everett, a grandfather to 6 bonus grandchildren. I think I heard a little bit about what that was, but I was wondering what exactly is a bonus grandchild, because I think I might like a few of those someday. An uncle to many nieces and nephews, and I'm sure that many of you will testify that this family resume doesn't begin to describe the Al Everett that you knew. You knew him as a neighbor, a business owner, a friend, or as Sarah and Blair called him, the mayor of Guelph. Apologies, Cam Guthrie. Al loved life and loved people. I was told that Al would sit in his garage with the door open to see who would walk by that he could chat with. Another great idea, right up there with bonus grandchildren. In a world where many of us seem to have turned inward, gotten comfortable behind computer screens or car steering wheels, and where we've become more comfortable with texting someone than actually speaking to them in person, Al's approach is refreshing, and we've got a lot to learn from it. Al was a happy, community-minded person. He was generous to everyone. whether it was with time, conversation, gifts, or the passing along of wisdom. Al seemed to have lots of sayings. I think we only heard a few of them just there that will endure long into the future. One that I didn't hear that was passed along to me, if you're not early, you're late. And the one that was passed along, it's always nice to be asked. Al loved life, and later today you'll all gather at the Guelph Country Club for lunch, another one of Al's favorite places, though I'm told that Al rather preferred the 19th hole, not the previous 18. Today we gather to bear witness to his life and to mark the passing as an important day in all of our lives. We do understand the physical and medical reasons why Al's earthly life has come to an end, but still, we feel what's referred to as the sting of death. I don't even know if that's a good term, if that language covers it well, but don't we kind of share that feeling of being ripped off, maybe even cheated out of what might have been a passing too soon, just too soon? And I sometimes wonder, why is that? And as I've reflected on that, I've just thought that there's a way that each of us impacts on other people's lives. We each leave an imprint of ourselves that takes up residence in another person, and we've had that experience being on the receiving end of somebody else's imprint. And when that person's gone, our system just kind of strains to understand and accept the new reality. And maybe that really and truly is for the best. I don't think we're meant to forget or to just move on. We're meant to be impacted by one another in deep and meaningful ways and to retain those powerful memories. Al has pierced the veil between this present physical existence and what awaits on the other side. What exactly is on the other side? I want to be just totally honest with you today. There's always going to remain a huge amount of unknown and mystery to that, seeing as none of us have gone there. You may have read stories of near-death experiences. I'm kind of obsessed with books about that topic. There's lots of them. People recount having been welcomed into a place of light, or meeting somebody that they believed was Jesus, or perhaps having met someone they knew who had previously passed away. I sort of think of those like glimpses, like looking through an old cloudy telescope, barely able to focus on what's so far away. I wonder if we envision Al now in the company of others who've gone on before, passing along his latest wisdom, wondering where the 19th hole is. Though we don't know for sure, I can assure you of this, Al knows. And until then, we have our memories, like the ones you heard here today. Hold on to them and let them breathe life into you as you go forward one day into the next. Some of you that are here today have a deep faith and trust in God, and you're going to lean on that. That's going to guide you in this time of loss. Some of you here today don't have that kind of faith, but still and all, you're going to find a way to process your loss as well. Personally, I find real comfort in the Christian scriptures as they're a written record of people who experienced a relationship with God in all the heights and depths of their lives. Though written long ago, I find in the scriptures they're raw with emotion, rich in meaning, and hope-filled. People then, as now, reached out for something, for someone beyond them in help, looking for help in their time of need. Please allow me to share just these few selections with you to encourage you and to comfort you. Psalm 39. You've made my days a mere handbreadth. The span of my years is as nothing to you. Everyone is but a breath, even those who seem secure. Surely everyone goes around like a mere phantom. In vain they rush about, heaping up wealth without knowing whose it will finally be. But now, Lord, what do I look for? My hope is in you. Deuteronomy chapter 32. The eternal God is your refuge, and underneath are the everlasting arms. John 11. Jesus said, I'm the resurrection and the life. He who believes in me will live, even though he dies, and whoever lives and believes in me will never die. 1 Corinthians 15, when the perishable has been clothed with the imperishable, and the mortal with immortality, then the saying that is written will come true. Death has been swallowed up in victory. So as we grieve and take steps to try to process our loss today, remember this: death has been swallowed up in victory. I invite Harry and Abby to come to the stage once again.
This last song that we have for you will lighten the mood, I think, as we exit. It's a song we picked because it has a beautiful message and a motto that Al lived by and would want you all to as well.
Sun is hot, that old clock is moving slow. So am I. Workday passes like molasses in wintertime. But it's July, getting paid by the hour, hold it by the minute. Boss man just pushed me over the limit. Like to call him something, but I think I'll just call it a day. Pour me something tall and strong, make it a hurricane before I go insane. It's only 12:30, but I don't care. It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
This lunch break is gonna take all afternoon and half the night. Tomorrow morning I know there'll be hell to pay. Hey, but that's alright. And had a day off now in over a year. Our Jamaican vacation's gonna start right here. Hit the phones for me, you can tell them I just sailed away.
Pour me something tall and strong, make it a hurricane before I go insane. It's only 12:30, but I don't care. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. I could pay off my tab, pour myself in a cab, be back to work by 2. At a moment like this, I can't help but wonder, what would Allan Everett do?
He'd say,
pour me something tall and strong, make it a hurricane before I go insane. It's only 12:30, but I don't care. Everybody, pour me something tall and strong, make it a hurricane before I go insane. It's only 12:30, but I don't care. It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Well, thank you, Harry and Abby. That was awesome. You know, they're singing together and then they're singing together. Well, immediately following our service, we're going to leave the room. Please allow the family to exit first, and then you can follow. Guests are invited to travel to the Guelph Country Club on Woodlawn Road for lunch and spending time with the family and sharing more stories like Sarah shared. May I share this with you as we go. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face toward you and give you peace.